we finally convinced that the New York Islanders are a good team? I mean, they've won their last 5 games. 3 of those were against Buffalo. Who cares? They still won them. You can only play who's on the schedule. And the fact is, the Boston Bruins have yet to beat the New York Islanders in 3 attempts. Granted, all on the road. But still, they haven't beat this team at all this season. They're good. So let's just focus on that. So this is potentially, I mean, granted, don't know how the playoffs are going to look yet. We're still a bit early to talk about that. Potentially the last game for the Boston Bruins at the Nassau Memorial Coliseum as they look to finally beat the New York Islanders. Can they do it? Find out on the Bruins Recap Show.
Boston Bruins.
So we start things off in the first period. In net for Boston, it's Yaroslav Halak. On the other side of him, Semyon Varlamov, who the Boston Bruins have yet to figure out all season, as he has 3 wins against the Bruins this year. So bad news, Tuukka Rask did not make the trip as I believe some sort of injury happened during the game against the New Jersey Devils, and he did end up skating off the bench awkwardly, which means your backup goaltender is Dan Vladar, making his return to the backup spot. So after getting a couple of games as a healthy scratch, Sean Kuraly returns to the lineup, which means Jack Studnicka goes up to the second line to play with Nick Ritchie and David Krejci, as Jake DeBrusk is a healthy scratch for tonight's game, and that is a message being sent to the Boston young forward of you need to produce a lot more for this team. So, in the first period, Jordan Eberle gets a chance. No goal, as he can't put it past. He had Yaroslav Halak dead to rights, but he puts it off the outside of the bar. No goal. Nick Ritchie gets a shot. He goes off the post as well. So, both teams trade posts. Boston will get on the power play towards the end of the first, and with 28 seconds left, some great puck movement. And this is why I should not be in the NHL, because if I was Matt Grzelcyk, I would have put this shot on net trying to get a tip. But instead, Grzelcyk goes cross corner with a slap pass for Brad Marchand. Marchand going up to David Pastrnak, and Pastrnak puts it past Semyon Varlamov, who overcommitted to the Grzelcyk slap shot, looking at least, I believe, towards a net front tip from Patrice Bergeron. Either way, the overplay cost him. David Pastrnak gets on the board, a power play goal, his 400th career NHL point, if I'm correct in that. And the Boston Bruins have a 1-0 lead at the end of the first. In the second period, David Krejci has a wide open chance, and Semyon Varlamov, with the save of the season, just gets his stick out there Tim Thomas style and says no. A little bit later on, Oliver Wahlstrom with a hit on Connor Clifton, and depending on which angle they showed, the original angle, which was high up where you can't really see behind the glass, that hit looked nasty. Once they actually got to the on ice camera, the hit doesn't look nearly as bad. Either way, Brad Marchand takes exception to that hit and decides to just grab Wahlstrom and start punching him in the face. So Wahlstrom would get 2 minutes for boarding, Brad Marchand 2 minutes for roughing, and also 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct, which means the New York Islanders go to the power play. On the power play, it's Matthew Barzal. He's a good player. He skates the puck down to the face-off circle, passes it over to J.G. Pageau, who has killed the Bruins all season. Pageau at the goal line finds it to Brock Nelson, who is wide open in the middle of 4 Boston defenders. One times it. Power play goal for the New York Islanders. It's a 1-1 tie. We go to the third. Now, stop me if you've heard this song and dance before. The New York Islanders outwork and outplay the Boston Bruins in the third period. Yep, that's exactly what happens again. The New York Islanders outwork the Boston Bruins in the third period. Outshoot them 9-4 in the third period. I don't know what it is about the Islanders team. I don't know what it is about playing in the Nassau Coliseum. I don't know what's going on in here, but the Boston Bruins against the Islanders have been awful in third periods. And this game was no exception. Unfortunately, or fortunately actually, Yaroslav Halak able to withstand multiple scoring opportunities, keeps the door shut, and Boston Bruins will get a point at least as we go to overtime. Now in the overtime period, both teams have a chance to end this game. Boston more so, they had 5 shots on goal, including a couple of really good ones from David Pastrnak, one really good one from Brad Marchand. On the other side, the Islanders had a really good opportunity from Barzal, who shot it well wide. Neither team scores. We go to the skills competition, and in the skills competition, it is Jordan Eberle who gets the puck past Yaroslav Halak in the first round. But David Pastrnak answers right back, gets a goal of his own. Charlie Coyle, I don't know why Charlie Coyle is in the shootout. I would have put maybe, Charlie McAvoy, maybe Patrice Bergeron, maybe David Krejci, although he hasn't scored a goal all season. How about, Anders Bjork maybe. Give the kid a chance. Better than Charlie Coyle. He doesn't score. Matthew Barzal doesn't score, which is a shocker there. Anthony Beauvillier finishes the game, beating Yaroslav Halak in the shootout. Brad Marchand on the other end can't answer. The Boston Bruins fall to the New York Islanders in the Nassau Coliseum for the 4th straight time. At least this time they got a point. They fall to 0-3-1 against the Islanders this season. They just cannot figure out how to beat this team. Although this is arguably the closest that they've come all season to doing so. Maybe fortunes change because the next 4 games against this team will be at the TD Bank North or the TD Garden. So next up for Boston, they get 2 games at home against a team that has also played them rather well this season, the New York Rangers. And that'll be Thursday and Saturday, Saturday being a matinee. We'll see what happens on Thursday, Boston and the Rangers in the Garden. Just not that Garden. On the Bruins Recap Show.